From KGW, this is The Good Stuff.
We're not building pilots as much as we're building citizens, people who participate in their community and make their community better.
Building better citizens and giving young people a glimpse of a career they may not have considered. Thanks for joining us on The Good Stuff. I'm Deidre Johnson. Tonight, we're highlighting a program helping kids explore STEM and the aviation industry. KGW's digital reporter Sabina Pierre has the story.
So that's where you're trying to land, right up there.
Okay. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you.
Elementary student Serenity Allen is one of the many students participating in the Urban Wings Club, learning about how to fly a plane,
how to land, how to take off, how to use a throttle. This community isn't judgmental at all. They're so nice and supportive, and they just keep teaching me more and more.
The students meet a few times each month as part of the Vanport International Flight Simulator Lab, with the chance to learn from rising pilots within the community as well as graduates of the club, all under the leadership of Michael Chappie Grice.
It's designed to bring young people, particularly black and brown young people, into the field of aviation and engineering, applied mathematics, and have a career.
Just having a program like this really makes a difference.
Matthias Tillies is one of Grice's students who has gone on to work in aviation while mentoring students in the club. Tillies and Grice crossed paths in 2009 when he was in 5th grade.
At one point, Mr. Grice was taller than me, now I'm taller than him, so that says a lot.
Now he has a private pilot license and is working towards his commercial multi-engine license. He says he never would have considered the idea of being a pilot if Mr. Grice hadn't exposed him to Urban Wings.
We're not building pilots as much as we're building citizens, people who participate in their community and make their community better.
Wow. Definitely on his tail. That's what you call a tail right there.
The Portland Club is now giving young people the chance to take off to new heights.
Get some flaps in there.
Urban Wings providing a space for inner city youth to not only propel their interest in STEM and aviation, but also gain life skills, all free of charge. And of course, learn important history along the way, including the first black military aviators.
Aviation gives us an opportunity to explore African American history because we focus on the character, the courage, and the commitment to achieve of the Tuskegee Airmen.
It's a history Mr. Grice is passionate about sharing, though his own road to aviation was through a dear friend who was a retired Air Force engineer. When he passed away, he left Mr. Grice the club to carry on.
So I was obligated to pick up the pieces and carry it forward. And so we've been doing that informally since 2008, more formally since 2012.
For Larissa Williams, she sees the value in the club for her nephew and upcoming generations.
Well, it'll be nice when he becomes a pilot, and he'll get to teach other kids how to become a pilot and fly. Oh yeah, he can fly me to Vegas.
Now a new generation of pilots are on the horizon with the potential to earn their wings.
Do you see yourself being a pilot when you get older?
Yes.
In North Portland, Sabina Pierre, KGW News.
Such a great program. Love that. Well, an affordable housing event was held at Dawson Park in Portland's Albina neighborhood on Tuesday. It provided resources to help people get housing and get back on their feet. Daisy Caballero reports.
We bring the resources to the community and meet them where they're at.
On Tuesday, Portland's Safe Blocks program took over Dawson Park to bring housing and shelter resources to those in need.
What we're trying to do is help bring back communities of color and give them an opportunity to thrive in a neighborhood where they, are used to.
Several advocacy groups, including SCI and the Portland Housing Bureau, were there, sharing what's available in real time.
That there are opportunities to move into affordable housing that was built specifically for people who have been displaced out of Northeast Portland.
It's needed, I guess it's needed. It's few and far between that we have access to resources.
Andrew Matagart stopped by because he was tired of waiting around for a call back from housing folks and said he wanted to advocate for himself in person.
I entered myself into a treatment with a housing component, and I graduated that treatment 6 months ago and I haven't been transitioned out. So I'm still kind of sitting there in limbo.
Andrew said he was evicted following some issues with drug use and wants nothing more than a place he can call his own.
I don't want to relapse, so I want to make sure I'm going to a safe environment. And like I said, I'm got to take the initiative and reach out and dictate my own transition.
It should be somebody there who can help in some way to make them feel like they have somebody walking with them.
And that's exactly what Stacy Mingo with SEI is here to do, as she, years ago, was in a challenging position herself. She's now looking forward to help others with a path forward.
I feel honored and humbled to be able to go back and help and to let them know I'm not afraid to show the scar, because if you see my scar, that lets you know, oh, you made it through that? I did. And you can too.
Daisy Caballero, KGW News.
Some new plaques now mark the South Park blocks in Portland as a historic place. The 12 blocks were added to the National Register of Historic Places back in 2022. More than 100,000 historic places around the country, including the blocks, are deemed worthy of preservation. The South Park blocks were dedicated in 1852 as the first official open public space in the Rose City. They were landscaped in the 1870s and 80s. Well, after months of anticipation, the Lansu Chinese Garden revealed the name of its reimagined tea house today. The new name for the space is Yun Shui, meaning cloud and water in Chinese. The tea house has been an essential part of the garden since it first opened in 2000. Officials say the community had a big part in the renaming.
It was incredible, actually. We had 950 people vote in a short period of time, and there was very passionate voting, very passionate comments and discussion about the two names that we presented to the community. Until literally the final moments, it was neck and neck in terms of the two. So we are excited to see that the community engaged so passionately in this process.
The tea house will offer a new seasonal food menu and nearly 20 different Chinese and Taiwanese teas as well. Well, check this out. The first California condor to hatch at the Oregon Zoo turns 20 years old this week. Conwak Shun, also known as condor number 340, hatched at the John Sun Center for Wildlife Conservation in 2004. It has been flying free in Central California since 2005. The Oregon Zoo says it's a great occasion to celebrate the species as a whole since it was recently on the brink of extinction. The world's population of them now totals more than 500 birds. And there's a new pup on patrol in Multnomah County. Burton is joining the sheriff's office as a comfort dog. He'll bring a little stress and anxiety relief to both families and first responders. You'll also see him wagging his tail and looking for treats at local community events. Next, the impressive career of the Portland native who became the youngest head coach in NBA history and the first Asian American to lead a team. But first, let's take a look outside at the gorgeous Wednesday evening you're seeing right there at Cannon Beach. We're bringing back our Breaking Barriers series this month in honor of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Tonight we highlight Eric Spoelstra, a Filipino American who's climbed to the top in the NBA. Drew Carney has his story.
He's known as Coach Spo, a two-time NBA champ as head coach of the Miami Heat. Eric Spoelstra grew up in Portland, graduating from Jesuit High School in 1988.
It was always evident that he was going to aspire to play and maybe coach at a high level.
After graduating from Jesuit, he played at the University of Portland and was named West Coast Conference Freshman of the Year. In fact, he's still among the leaders in several Pilots categories and is also a member of the university's 1,000-point club.
I think my dream growing up was to actually play for the Trailblazers. At some point in college, I realized that wasn't going to happen. I wanted to get into coaching at any level.
His big break came in 1995 when he got a coaching job with the Heat. He worked his way up from the film room to assistant coach, and when he was 37, he became the youngest head coach in the NBA. As a Filipino American, Spoelstra also became the first Asian American head coach in any of the 4 major North American sports leagues. And he's also been able to share his love for the game in the Philippines, where his mother's from, teaching a basketball clinic at a high school in Manila. In the NBA, all he's really done is won, including winning back-to-back NBA titles in 2012 and 2013, coaching some of the best in the game, including Wayne Wade and LeBron James. And like those two, Spoelstra is destined for the Hall of Fame, where he'll proudly represent Portland.
Portland's always home. That will be home, for me the rest of my life.
Well, we're also celebrating Asian-owned businesses, restaurants, and artists this month. This week on Sunrise, the co-owners of Toya Ramen were in the studio talking about the new restaurant they opened a couple of months ago in Southeast Portland. One of the owners says there's something unique that makes their ramen special.
So we primarily focus on chicken ramen, and we use mature chickens and whole chickens for our soup, so it's a lot more flavorful.
Oh.
And we make everything from scratch, from our noodles to our sauces to our oils to our soups every day.
Talking about the ramen. If you're interested in trying it for yourself, just head to toyaramen.com or to the restaurant on Southeast Stark near Sandy Boulevard. Straight ahead, we show you 2 archers from Washington hoping to make the cut for this year's Olympic team. And here's another live look outside, this one from the Dalles. Enjoy. Well, the Olympic flame has finally made it to France. It arrived in the southern city of Marseille 79 days before the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. The torch was brought to land for a big celebration with an air show and fireworks. The torch relay will start tomorrow for the final leg of its journey. More than 10,000 people will take part in the relay as it heads to Paris for the opening ceremony on July 26th. And speaking of the Olympics, 2 archers from Washington hope to fulfill their Olympic dreams and are headed to the Gator Cup. They're trying to secure a spot on Team USA. Chris Egan with our sister station in Seattle has their story.
It's a beautiful spring day in Monroe. The birds are chirping. But there's another sound in the distance. There's a bullseye under attack. 18-year-old Emma Kim is one of the top archers in the country.
I just like that repetition of trying to perfect something every time and just working on the same thing so you can get better at that one thing. I think I just like that rhythm.
The Seattle shooter fires 400 to 500 arrows a day.
The only way you can really get better is shooting a lot, like we say, like quantity and quality.
Emma, a graduate of Jackson High School, has been working with Coach Mike Wixer for more than 10 years.
Oh goodness, she was this little girl when it started, and it's pretty amazing that at first they just want to learn, they just want to play, and then they get hooked, and then it's like work hard. And I mean, it took a few years.
Emma stayed on target, and when the bullseye started adding up, the wins did too. In 2022, Emma won a bronze at the World Championships. In 24, she took home a silver at the Arizona Cup, a major national event.
It was just nice to see, progression. Like, I've been doing the same training for how many years, and now you see that you're starting to show what you've been working on. Is always nice.
Emma isn't afraid to fight. That's the one thing. And in archery, you can have, well, I think in any sport at the highest level, there can be no fear. So that is something she definitely has going for her.
Emma is currently ranked number 4 in the U.S., and while she's aiming for Paris, she doesn't waste too much time dreaming. Right now, it's all about the work.
I'm trying to take one step at a time, so I don't want to think too deeply on this, and I don't, thinking about it for me doesn't make it come any faster or slower, so I'm just trying to be in the present.
And Emma's not alone.
People describe it a lot like golf. I've never been competitive at golf, but it feels very similar. You're out on the range, it's just you and the ball or you and the bow, and you're just incrementally getting a little bit better each day, hopefully anyway, if you're doing it right.
22-year-old Gabe Anderson is from Kirkland. He started shooting when he was 10.
At the start, it's just fun to fling arrows. You just feel cool. You're shooting and they're hitting the center. You're like, oh, this is awesome.
12 years later, Gabe, like Emma, is one of the best in the U.S.
A good score for me would be a 57, keeping it there and above. 57 would be, on average, about 3 arrows in the 10 ring here and 3 arrows in the 9.
In 2021, Gabe scored 57 many times. He was the number 1 ranked junior in the country.
He has definitely grown into somebody who is shooting at a very high level.
This year, Gabe helped Team USA bring home a bronze medal at the Pan American Games. It was his first international medal.
Walking out with US on your back is definitely a pretty crazy experience. It feels, probably the most national pride I've ever had. You go out on the field and you're like, I'm representing the US.
And now Gabe is hoping to push that patriotic pride to Paris.
I didn't actually really have an Olympic dream when I was a kid. It kind of snuck up on me where I'm out here every day. People talk oh, it's Olympic year next year. You want to try out? I'm like, oh, we'll see how it goes. It would be pretty unreal.
So cool. Well, good luck to them. We're also highlighting local future champions. This is 11-year-old Ella from Sherwood. She's a fierce volleyball player, and that's her game face, of course. And we're featuring local future champions leading up to the Olympic Games in Paris this summer. So let us know about yours. Text us a picture of your future champion at 503-226-5088. Make sure to include their name, age, and hometown. Well, the Portland Thorns and the Portland Timbers are joining forces to host a charity match next month. Dubbed the Green is Gold Charity Match, the two clubs will play a mixed teams scrimmage. It will benefit the environmental nonprofits, the Nature Conservancy, and the Keep Oregon Green. The match is scheduled for June 26 at Providence Park. It's free to go, but fans are encouraged to make a donation. Tickets are available online. When we come back, some options to get out and enjoy the wonderful weather this weekend, from a doggy dash to bird watching. Stay with us. And get a look at this view from the Reserve Golf Course in Aloha. It's shaping up to be a glorious weekend outside, so here's some of the events happening around our area you might want to check out. If the moms in your life love the outdoors, you might want to head to Silver Falls State Park. They're hosting a Mother's Day Birding and Wildflower Festival this Saturday and Sunday. In addition to guided walks, there will be a live raptor show and plant sale. The event runs from 10 to 4 each day. And it's a chance to take your dog for a walk for a good cause. Saturday is the Doggy Dash to benefit the Oregon Humane Society. Walkers can choose between two routes along the waterfront in downtown Portland. The festival starts at 7:30 at the Tom McCall Waterfront Park. You can register now at doggydash.org. And as part of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Month, the Lon Su Chinese Garden has a special series of events. Saturday is Cultural Immersion Day. It's a chance to learn about the history and traditions of different Asian cultures. Sunday is Family Day with crafts, games, and art for all ages. And one of the most popular street festivals in Portland happens on Saturday. It's the 15th annual St. John's Bazaar. Organizers promise some iconic bands, delicious food and beer, and 180 vendors, and of course, a parade. It runs from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. in downtown St. John's in North Portland. For more weekend inspiration, check out the 8 Things to Do article up each week on KGW.com. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight, but remember, we want to hear about the good stuff in your life. You can share your photos and stories by texting 503-226-5088 or email us anytime at thegoodstuff@kgw.com. Have a good night. It's shaping up to be a glorious weekend outside. I'm Deidre Johnson with a look at some of the events happening around our area you might want to check out. If the moms in your life love the outdoors, you might want to head to Silver Falls State Park. They're hosting a Mother's Day Birding and Wildflower Festival this Saturday and Sunday. In addition to guided walks, there will be a live raptor show and plant sale. The event runs from 10 to 4 each day. And it's a chance to take your dog for a walk for a good cause. Saturday is a doggy dash to benefit the Oregon Humane Society. Walkers can choose between 2 routes along the waterfront in downtown Portland. The festival starts at 7:30 at the Tom McCall Waterfront Park. Register now at doggydash.org. And as part of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Month, the Lon Su Chinese Garden has a special series of events. Saturday is Cultural Immersion Day. It's a chance to learn about the history and traditions of different Asian cultures. Sunday is Family Fun Day with crafts, games, and art for all ages. And one of the most popular street festivals in Portland happens on Saturday. It's the 15th annual St. John's Bazaar. Organizers promise some iconic bands, delicious food and beer, and 180 vendors and a parade, of course. It runs from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. in downtown St. John's and North Portland. For more weekend inspiration, check out the 8 Things to Do article up each week on KGW.com.